Remind our scholars here that please don't talk in person to a certain audience because he asked you, because that will inflame him and then he will respond to you. Please talk in a scholarly term.
Amen.
Stay on the subject so people will not get hurt. If you have a brother question to Dr. Jamal, then I will entertain the question.
Because I waited for 20 minutes, so if you give me a chance. It happens to be to Dr. Shorrosh.
Can you be patient, wait another 5 minutes?
Yeah, I'll come. Yes.
Okay. Question to Dr. Jamal Badawi.
Assalamu alaikum. Just a little statement. We cannot look into South Africa, Second World War, Germany and Jews, Nagasaki and Hiroshima, China, gun board, and no dogs are allowed in the park, those kind of thing, and judge Christianity. That is the scholar aspect. We are all college students, and you mentioned Dr. Maurice Bucaille. Will you please kindly shed some light on some of the issues, like the universe was a smoke, that's Dukkan, and how it was created from there, and how it synchronizes with the finding of the present-day scientific age.
What
or
Dukhan.
yeah, or about the orbital movement of the solar system and the sun, how it appeals to the intellect of the modern-day scholar and students, and how it might reflect that Quran is appealing to the 20th century and 21st century and so on. And similar thing can we find in the Bible. You might limit your example to 4 for the time. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Very quickly. For example, one of the things that I found criticized in Islam in the book so-called Islam Revealed by Dr. Shorrosh is that it says, how come the Quran says that the mountains are like stakes, you know, the stakes that hold the tent? In fact, Dr. Bucaille answered that in a very intelligent and scientific way by showing that the earth crust in which we live is very small compared to the radius of the earth, and that geologists, not in the time of the Prophet, not hundreds of years even after the Prophet, discovered that indeed the mountains and the depth of the mountains act to stabilize the earth crust. Ask the experts on this. A second aspect, Dr. Bucaille indicates that if you check any encyclopedia, you will find that the first time it was discovered that the source of water inside the earth comes from rain was in the 16th century. That's almost 900 years after Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. It is mentioned in no uncertain terms in the Quran in several places. 3. Von Fritsch, who took the Nobel Prize for his work on the bee dance, proved that bees, when they move or give a message to other bees to go to the field for the flowers, they have a specific way to describe the way through the method or the way they dance. They move their wings and keep moving around. Again, there is a reference to that in the Quran in Surah number 16. But the most important fourth example is the one that stunned not only Dr. Bucaille but several. I'm not talking only about Dr. Keith Moore, the professor of medicine, but many others as well. And we have physicians sitting with us here, that if one really looks carefully into how the Quran, especially in Surah number 23, describe the early human embryology, you will get stunned. Stunned at the description, giving the fact that until the 17th or 18th centuries, the information, even among scientists, about embryology was very, very erroneous, that the Quran corrected 1,000 years before even they started to correct it in science. You will find that there are 2 verses in the Quran that even hint or give a clear indication that it is the contribution of the husband that determine the sex of the fetus. Did Prophet Muhammad has any knowledge of genetics as well?
Thank you, Dr. Badawi. I would like to challenge you on the matter of the scientificness of the Quran. Ladies and gentlemen, Muhammad demanded that we fast 1 month a year. In the beginning, the Sabians fasted actually 1 week a year. Then they made it 10 days, then he went into 1 month. Now notice this. To determine when you're supposed to fast, you're supposed to be able to tell the difference between a white thread and a black thread. That's when you quit eating, and then when the sun goes down, you eat again. 2 questions. Number 1, what advantage is it to God or man to switch from eating in the daytime to eating at night, when Muslims spend more money during the fast month than any month in their lives? Number two, how in the world can I accept Islam and fast if I live in Norway, Scandinavia, or Alaska? And if you've been there, you know the sun makes circles around there where the daylight hours are only 5 or 6. How are you going to fast that way? If Muhammad was really a prophet of God, he would have known that and saved his people the embarrassment of trying to follow it. Another thing of interest is that the earth has, as our friend said, in the Quran states has anchors. He made the mountains anchors. Gentlemen, from outer space, those so-called anchors are not down, they're up. They're Mount Everest. There are 4 of them in the 4 corners of the earth. And when the Word of God uses 4 corners, it might as well speak more scientifically than the Quran, because there are corners cropping up. I've been right on top of Mount Everest. And gentlemen and ladies, I would like to remind you too, as far as the Quran, it says that God flattened the earth. The earth was flat. They believed that until Christopher Columbus came. But not many knew that in the book of Isaiah chapter 42, we are informed that God sits on the circle of the earth, and in Job, we are told that the earth hangs in space. And remember this, as far as our beloved doctor said, that the matter of these mountains act as stabilizers. Ladies and gentlemen, if you take any course in science, you'll discover that is not substantiated, because after the 50 miles, 25 to 50 miles, the earth is completely burning liquids, molten lava. Thank you very much.
So this question is to Dr. Shorrosh. You said, sir, that 75% of the Quran was borrowed from the Bible. Let us just take the example of Jesus, who is a key figure in both Quran and Bible. The Bible states that Jesus is the Son of God, and he is the only begotten Son of God. The Quran refutes the idea and this notion and says, "Lam yalid wa lam yulad." He begets not, nor was he begotten. The Bible states in First Epistle of John that God is 3, and the Quran refutes this notion by saying, "La taq." Let me finish.
May I interject this thought? This we will deal with tomorrow. This is out of the context we're dealing with.
No, because you said
if he has the right to delay your question for tomorrow, because he has the right to answer or not. If he's going to discuss it tomorrow, then I think we
because
will.
Because he mentioned 70% of it, so well, I think it's.
You are here tomorrow, inshallah. He's
okay.
here, inshallah. No, and he's going to talk about. Maybe he'll elaborate on the 75%.
Okay.
Wait until tomorrow. He has the right to answer. The speaker has the right to answer the question, and he has the floor. You just ask the question, let him answer, please. If he say he's not going to answer it right now, then you wait. If he's not going to answer it at all, then also you wait. You have no choice. Yes, the next question.
Assalamu alaikum. To Dr. Shorrosh. First question I want to bring out is, in the Bible, would you relate the point that it speaks on the right of the firstborn, and in reference to Abraham's first 2 sons, not to speak of the other children that he had, but of Isaac and Ishmael. In Deuteronomy, I believe it's chapter 16, verse 22, somewhere right now, it speaks on the right of the firstborn. I'd like for you to expound upon that. And also, I'd like to ask...
One question at a time, okay? This is very simple to answer. As far as Ishmael and Isaac, you know too well that they were there before the Ten Commandments came, before Moses came, before Deuteronomy came. So these rules and regulations were not in existence, neither were they in operation. So it was not applicable to them. God chose Isaac as the son of the covenant, whereas he did not accept Ishmael because Abraham did not wait on